In today's information age, schools have the ability to collect, analyze, and use data in some amazing ways to provide the best possible education for students. Today, we'll go inside our own efforts to manage and use these mountains of data for our students' benefit.
I'm Jessica Lombard, Associate Superintendent.
And I'm Scott Rose, Superintendent. Welcome to Huntley 158 Today. Today we have Dr. Amy McCrindle and Dr. Chris Budzinski with us today to talk about data, accountability, and assessments, and how we use that data to drive the decisions that we make in our school district. Welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Dr. Budzinski, you oversee the technology department, and that department really assists us in being able to collect and manage all of this data that we have. Can you tell us a little bit about the people and the efforts that they do each and every day to make this possible?
Sure. Technology as a whole supports a lot of different functions in the district, data being one part of it. I think back about 5 or 6 years ago when I started in the district, and we had just a couple systems in place that we used to really share data about our students and those sorts of things. Ryan Cundy is actually one of our team members. He's a database analyst in our office, and he's really kind of at the front end of our data systems and connecting all of those systems together to ensure that the data that we have about our students is being shared. He does a really good job of growing those systems and making sure that the systems are supporting our students as a whole. Over those past 5 years, we've grown to more than 50 different systems that he's managing to store data about our students.
How much data do we hold?
A lot. We were trying to quantify how much data there actually is. Truthfully, to get to that level of detail in the amount of time that it would take us to calculate it, the numbers would completely change anyway. But it's safe to say that as a district, we store millions of records about our students and really thousands about every individual student, which helps to paint a fuller picture of the student and their experiences here in the district.
So Dr. McCrindle, you work in our Center for Learning and Innovation and help mine the data so we can make educational-based decisions. Can you give us a little tour through your office and some of the decisions we make based on the data that we have available to us?
Yeah, so in Huntley, we have a lot of data at our fingertips, and we have to decide how to best use it to help inform how we can best meet the needs of our students. We have assessments from state accountability tests such as PARCC and SAT, which help us determine how we're doing as measured across the state with our proficiency scores. We also have assessments such as MAP and AIMSweb, which help us really determine how our kids are doing here in Huntley, and then being able to see their growth and track it year to year, and then be able to compare how we are performing across the nation and be able to make decisions and target our teaching and instructional strategies to meet what kids need to grow. But then we also have classroom assessments that teachers are created that might be the same across a content area or grade level, or just an individual teacher creating them. So what we're doing, we're trying to work hard on how do we utilize all those different pieces of assessment to best make a plan and individualize our instruction for kids so that we can target them and help them move and grow while they're here in our school system.
Dr. McCrindle, you just said we have lots of data out there that uses, or that our staff uses to make those instructional decisions for each of our individual students. How do parents access this data? There is a lot of it. So how do they filter through what parts should I really focus on? What parts are more for the teachers to use and analyze so that they can best support their students at home?
Yeah, so parents can access the data through our Power School. They can log in online and see data that way. But also we send home reports after major assessments that parents can look at. I think it's important to remember that one assessment is just a snapshot in time, and there's not one assessment that tells how your child is doing. It just tells how they're doing that day at that moment. And so as a parent, we don't want to put too much pressure on students for one assessment. Instead, take that to really break apart the data and figure out how can I best support you, or what supports can I give you at home, or how can I help you reach out to your teachers to help figure out what we can do to help move you along. I like to liken it to, I took piano as a student. I started in 2nd grade, and at my first piano recital, I played Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. If you would have heard me play Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star in 2nd grade, and then again at my senior piano recital, we would have had a problem, right? That would have meant I didn't learn, I didn't grow. But through practice and through being able to really target what areas you need to get better at, and that constant practice and communication with a teacher or a coach, you move along and then you can play things like Bach and Mozart. So I think it's important as a parent to remember that assessments are important, but they're not the end all be all. It's one assessment, one snapshot in time, and we are very fortunate to have a lot of different assessments to be able to paint that picture of how our children are doing.
Great, thank you.
And where we are in society and education right now, we battle that. Are we assessing too much? And it's something that we balance internally to try and ensure that that we keep what's in the best interest of our students at the forefront, yet we'll take all the information that we can get so we can make real quality educational decisions for our students so that we can help them grow and focus on where we're trying to take them in the 13 years that we have them in our district.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for the time today and the insight into your departments and how you're supporting our students.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you guys so much for what you do to support our families and our staff so that they then can support our students. And thank you for joining us at Huntley 158 today, where it's all students, always.
Until next time, where we highlight another aspect of how we serve our students.